Hello everyone, this is Shivateja and I'm a ethical hacker, cybersecurity researcher and pen tester. Today in this session we discuss about cybercrimes in India and their cyber laws. Cybercrimes in India. The advent of technology life has become much easier in this 21st century. You can book railway tickets from mobile, pay bills instantly, perform online shopping, etc. These are possible only due to advancement of technology of internet. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any criminal activity that involves a computer, network device or a network. Most but not all. Cybercrime is committed by cybercriminals or hackers who want to make money. Cybercrime is carried out by individuals or organizations. Some cybercriminals are organized, use advanced techniques and they are highly skilled technically. While most cybercrimes are carried out in order to generate profit for the cybercriminals, some cybercrimes are carried out against computers or devices directly to damage or disable them, while others use computers or networks to spread malware, illegal information, images, or other materials. Some cybercriminals do both, either target computers to infect them with a computer virus, which is then spread to other machines and sometimes entire networks. Cybercriminals. Who is these fellows? A cybercriminal is a person who conducts some form of illegal activity using computers or other digital technologies such as the internet. The criminal may use computer expertise, knowledge of human behavior, and variety of tools and services to achieve his or her goal. The kinds of crimes a cybercriminal may be involved in can include hacking, identity theft, online scams and fraud, creating a malware or attack on computer systems and sites. A primary effect of cybercrime is financial. Cybercrime can include many different types of profit-driven criminal activity, including ransomware attacks, email and internet fraud, and identify fraud, as well as attempts to steal financial account, credit card, or other payment card information. Cybercriminals may also target an individual's private information as well as corporate data for theft and resale. As many workers settle into remote work routines due to the pandemic time, cybercrimes are expected to grow in frequency in 21st century and 2021 year, making it especially important to protect backup data. These cybercriminals' motive is money, money, money. Next, we will see types of cybercrimes. Generally, there are four major categories of cybercrimes that you need to know about. These categories include cybercrime against person, cybercrime against property, cybercrime against government, cybercrime against society. Cybercrime against person. While these crimes occur online, they affect the lives of actual people. Some of these crimes include cyber harassment and stalking, distribution of child pornography, various types of spoofing, credit card fraud, human trafficking, identity theft, and online related. In this category, cybercrime is committed against a person using electronic service as a medium. Below are some offenses that comes under this category: cyber stalking, cybercrime, hacking, cracking, defamation, online fraud, child pornography, spoofing. And next category means cybercrime against property. Some online crimes happen against property, such as a computer or server. These crimes include DOS attacks, hacking, virus transmission, cyber and typo-squatting, computer vandalism, copyright infringement, and IPR violations. Yeah, in this category, crime is committed against property of person using electronic service as a medium. These are cyber in these types: transmitting virus, cyber stalking, cyber vandalism, intellectual property crimes. Yeah, the third category is cyber crimes against government. When a cybercrime is committed against the government, it is considered an attack on that nation's sovereignty and an act of war. Cybercrimes against the government, including hacking, accessing confidential information, cyber warfare, cyber terrorism, and pirated software. And last, cybercrime against society at large. And lawful activities done with the intention of causing harm to the cyberspace that can affect entire society or large number of persons. Below offenses that comes under this category: online gambling, cyber trafficking. Yeah, cyber law and IT Act. A few years, a few years ago back, there was a lack of cyber crime awareness about that crimes could be committed through internet. However, with the increased support from Government of India, there has been separate law of crimes committed on internet. The Indian Parliament had passed a new law pertaining to Cybercrime Information Technology Act 2000 and October 17 in this year of 2000. This law deals with the technology in the field of e-commerce, e-governance, e-banking, as well as penalties and punishments in the field of cybercrime. Cyber law is any law that applies to the internet and the internet related technologies. Cyber law is one of the newest areas of the legal system. This is because internet technology develops at such a rapid pace. Cyber law provides legal protections to people using the internet. This includes both business and everyday citizens. Understanding cyber law is one of the almost importance to everyone who uses the internet. Cyber law has also been referred to as law of internet. Cybersecurity policy is focused on providing guidance to anyone that might be vulnerable to cybercrime. This includes business, individuals, and even the government. Many countries are looking for ways to promote cybersecurity and prevent cybercrime. For instance, the Indian government passed the Information Technology Act 2000. The main goal of this law is to improve transmission of data over the internet while keeping it safe. Why we need these laws? And what happens if anyone breaks a cyber law? The importance of cyber law. Let's see. Why we need these laws? There are many security issues with using the internet, and also availability different malicious people who try to unauthorized access of your computer system to perform potential fraud. Therefore, similarly, any law, cyber law is created to protect online organizations and people on the network from unauthorized access and malicious people. If someone does any illegal activity or breaks the cyber rule, it offers people or organizations to have that person sentenced to punishment or take action against them. Next, what happens if anyone breaks a cyber law? If anyone breaks a cyber law, the action should be taken against that person on the basis of the type of cyber law he broke, where his lives, and where he broke the law. There are many situations like if you break the law on this website, your account will be banned or suspended and blocked your IP. IP means Internet Protocol Address. Furthermore, if any person performs a single serious illegal activity such as causing another person or company distress, hacking, attacking another person or website, advanced action can be taken against that person. Next, importance of cyber law. Cyber laws are performed to punish people who perform any illegal activities online. They are important to punish related to these topics of issues such as online harassment, attacking another website or individual data theft, disputing the online workflow of enterprises, other illegal activities. If anyone breaks the cyber law, the action would be taken against the person on the basis of the type of cyber law he broke, where he lives, and where he broke the law. It is the most important to punish punish the cyber criminals to bring them to behind bars, as most of the cybercrimes across the limit of the cybercrime that could not be considered as the cybercrime. These are some importance of cyber law can be understood by the following points. This dedicates all actions and reactions in cyberspace. All online transactions are ensured to be safe and protected. All online activities are under watch by the cyber law officials. Security for all the data and property, individuals, organizations, and government. Helps curb illegal cyber activities with due to diligence. All actions and reactions implemented on any cyberspace has some legal angle associated with it. Keeps track of all electronic records. Helps to establish electronic governance. Next, we will see what are the cyber laws and those sections under IT Act. Yeah, cybercrimes are increasing day by day due to the extensive use of internet by people. In order to deal with this, Government of India has imposed Information Technology Act in the year of 2000, which was enacted with prime objective to create an environment for commercial use of information technology. There are several different offences related to internet that have been considered to be punishable under IT Act and the IPC. IPC means Indian Penal Code. An extract of this act is illustrated below. The cybercrimes under the IT Act. Section 65 means tampering with computer source document. Section 66 means hacking with computer systems data alternation. Section 67 means publishing offense information. Section 68 means power of controller to be give directions. Section 69 means direction of controller to a subscriber to extend facilities to decrypt information. Section 70 means unauthorized access to protect system. Section 71 means penalty for misrepresentation. Section 72 means breach of confidential and privacy. Section 73 means publishing false digital signature of certificates. Yeah. Note Section 66 has been removed. Why? There is one such incident related to this section happened recently. A year of 21-year-old boy in the district of Maharashtra, which is nearby to Virar. A girl was arrested on 19 November 2012 for posting a message on Facebook that criticizes the shutdown in Mumbai due to the funeral of Bal Thackeray from chief of Sena political party in Maharashtra. Also, her friend was arrested for liking the post. Initially, they were arrested under Section 295A of Indian Penal Code, that stands for hurting religious sentiments, and Section 66A of Information Technology Act 2000. However, later a local court dropped all charges against the girls. Cybercrimes under IPC and some special laws. Yeah, in this section, IPC was included. Section 503 IPC, sending treating messages by email. Section 499 IPC, sending defamation message by email. Section 463 IPC, forgery of electronic record. Section 420 IPC, fake websites, cyber frauds. Section 463 email spoofing. Section 383 IPC, web jacking. Section 500 IPC, sending abusive message by email. Some another special acts. Cybercrimes under the special acts. These NDPS acts means online sale of drugs, and Arms Act. This is mean online sales of guns and some smuggling. Yeah. Next we will discuss about judicial framework. The cybercrimes under the IT Act, some under the judicial of adjudicating officers appeal from the orders of the adjudicating officers, lie to the appellate tribunal, and appeals from the orders of appellate tribunal lie to the High Court are the cyber crime under the judicial of the criminal code. Case law is the law that is established through the decisions of the courts and other officials. Case law assumes even greater significance when the wording of a particular law are ambiguous. The interception of the courts helps clarify the real objectives and meaning of such laws. In India, courts are bound by decisions of higher courts. In the hierarchy, the apex court in India is the Supreme Court. Article 141 of the Constitution of India states the law declared by the Supreme Court shall be binding all courts within the territory of India. It must also be borne in your mind that single judge must follow the decisions of division bench. A division bench must follow the decisions of full bench of the same court. The importance of precedents in the Indian legal system has been highlighted by the Supreme Court. Another category of precedents are those that are liable to discredited in certain circumstances as well as illustration. The decision of a single judge of Mumbai High Court is binding on subordinate courts in Maharashtra, but is not binding on a division bench of the Bombay High Court. Another category of precedents of those that have value as an illustration. The decisions of a single judge of the Bombay High Court as only single judge of the Delhi High Court. Next we will see hierarchy of criminal courts in India. Indian judiciary, one of the most efficient judicial framework and judicial systems in the world. The judiciary derives its powers from the Constitution of India. The existence of court is required to check the misuse of powers conferred by the or the executive. The Indian judiciary is the guardian of the Constitution of India, along with being a custodian of the fundamental rights of the citizens. Courts and justice system in India. The courts are divided into three categories: top court, middle court and lower court. The top court is named as Supreme Court, while the middle court is named as High Court. The lower court is named as District Court. In this hierarchy, the Supreme Court of India is the highest and final court of appeal under the Constitution of India. It is the highest constitutional court, being the apex court of India. It was established under the Article 124 of Part 5th and Chapter 4 of the Constitution of India. Supreme Court is also known as apex court in India, and it has the highest authority over all the courts in India. The apex court has various powers which are derived from the Constitution of India. The apex court is highest court of appeal in India. It has the power to hear appeals from all the cases lying in the various high courts and subordinate courts of the country. It is the highest court of appeal in the entire country under the preview of Articles 132, 133, 134 and 136. High courts of India. In the second number of in a hierarchy, there are various high courts at the state and union territory level, which together with the Supreme Court of India at the national level comprise the country's judicial system. Each high court has judiciary over a state, a union territory, or a group of states and union territories in the judicial constitutional scheme. Or a high court is responsible for the entire administration of justice in the state. They are governed by the Constitution of India and are bound by the judgment of apex court. It is the court of record. It has the original jurisdiction given under Article 226 of the Constitution to issue any rights to any person. The original jurisdiction of the high courts also extends to the matter of probate, matrimonial and complaint of court cases. The high courts have also full of powers to make rules, regulate their business concerning the administration of justice. It can punish for its complement under Article 215 of the Constitution. Yeah, and last one, lower courts in India. Lower courts are being further classified as a district area and metropolitan area. District area courts, session courts, judicial magistrate first class and second class executive magistrate, and a metropolitan courts, session court, chief metropolitan magistrate. Yeah, in India there are district courts under different state government for each district or one more district together consider the number of cases, population distribution in the district. These district courts administer justice at a district level. At the district level, the district judge or additional district judge exercise jurisdiction both on the original side and appellate side in the civil and criminal matters arising in the district, the theoretical and punishable district in the civil matters, in usually status in concert state and transparent board about civil courts on the criminal side. Jurisdiction is the exclusive derived from the Criminal Procedure Code 1973. As per the code, the maximum sentence of a sessions judged by may award to convict is capital punishment. What do you what to do when you become victim of cybercrime? It happens that people who become victim of cybercrime does not know what to do, and even some people don't report the cybercrime, thus allowing hacker to target next victim. If you become victim of cybercrime, you can report to in charge of cybercrime cell that falls under the judiciary where crimes has occurred. The cybercrime cell is present in almost all cities across the world. Yeah. In that involves cyber email abusing, email bombing, etc. should be provided with the following documents. Yeah. Extend headers of abusing email and submit soft copy and hard copy of email. Please note that hard copy submitted should tally exactly with soft copy and should mention date and time of email correctly. Never delete such email until cybercrime investigation is completed or the accused is brought to charge. And second one is in that involves hacking of system should be provided with following documents: server logs, both soft copy and hard copy, duplicate copy of defaced web page, soft copy and hard copy in case your website is defaced. Yeah, if your data is compromised, maybe it on server or computer or any network, submit a soft copy, original data on compromise. Yeah guys, I hope you understand this session, and thank you Arshita ma'am for giving this opportunity.